Hello children, today let us start lesson number 7, the natural wealth of India. Children, what are the topic we are going to discuss under this lesson? Yes, we are going to discuss about the meaning of natural resources, about soil which is an important natural resource, the types of soil available in India, what is soil erosion and how to conserve soil. Then we are going to discuss about the forest and wildlife and the different types of forest which is available in India, how to conserve forest and wildlife. These are all the topics we are going to discuss under this lesson. Children, first let us understand what is natural resources. What is natural resources? The resources which are available in nature, that is called as natural resources. Nature is the gift of God. Yes, the children, to the mankind. So the natural resources are valuable things we get from the earth. So it can be anything that come from nature. This is known as natural resources. Maybe the forest, example forest, soil, water. These are all the example for natural resources. The crops that grow in the soil and the clay we use to make pots and dishes are some resources. Children, they are the nature's gift to the human race. Yes, no, children, we depend on soil for food. Yes, because we will grow the crops in the soil itself, correct? So only we directly or indirectly depend upon the soil for our food, and plants are also rooted in the soil. Many animals also will make their homes inside the soil itself. Yes, no, in soil itself. So we all, the living beings on the earth, we all depend upon soil. Soil is an important resource that supports life on earth. Yes, no, children. So soil also plays an important role in the supporting of life on earth. Children, now let us continue to study what is meaning of soil, what are the types of soil available in India. Soil means it is the topmost layer of the earth's surface formed by the breaking of the large rocks into small pieces of sand and silt. So this is known as soil. So it is the topmost layer of the earth's surface which is formed by breaking of large rocks into small pieces of sand and silt. Children, these are carried to different places and spread over land through natural forces like wind, rain and floods. These pieces get mixed with mineral particles and brown layer of sticky humus. What do you mean by humus, children? Humus means the organic component of soil formed by the decomposition of leaves and other plant materials by soil microbes, okay, microorganisms. So this is called as humus. So these particulars, these pieces, so the sand and the silt will mix up with the mineral particles, a brown layer of sticky humus, air and water to form soil. So thus the soil will form. I hope you understood how the soil is formed. Soil is found in different color. Its color depend upon the mineral content of it. Example, children, with the soil which has the content of red oxide mineral, iron oxide. So the soil which has the content of iron oxide look like red color. Got it, children? The same because of the content of iron oxide. The soil which is rich in iron oxide will look like will take the red color. It look like the red color. Got it, children? So different kinds of soils are found in India, which can be broadly divided into 4 types. Those are alluvial soil, black soil, red soil, and laterite soil. These are the 4 types of soil we can see in India. So now let us briefly study about the different types of soil available in India. First, let us start to study about alluvial soil. So alluvial soil, how it is formed. So this is the most important and widespread category of soil which is very fertile, which we can see most in the northern plains of India. So we can see in the North India. This type of soil we can see more in the North India. Children, this soil is formed by the deposition of silt brought by the rivers. Okay, when the rivers are flowing, it will bring with that the silt, okay, by breaking the rocks into small pieces. So this and is found in the river valleys, plains and deltas of northern India and western coastal plains. So we can find this type of soil in the river valleys, plains and deltas of northern India and eastern coastal plains. Children, which are the crops grown here? So the crops grown here is rice, wheat, jute, vegetable, oil seeds, cotton, pulses, etc. Because this soil is very fertile, is very highly fertile, so the yield will be more. Got it, children? So this is what alluvial soil. Children, take a look at page number 47. Take a look at the map given here in the page number 47, children. So you can see the soil. In the map it has given which type of soil is available. Yes. So we move on to the next type of soil. Let us study about the black soil. Children, black soil is formed by the breaking up of volcanic lava rocks. So how the black soil is formed? Black soil is formed by the breaking up of volcanic lava rocks found in Deccan Plateau regions of Gujarat, Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. Children, this soil is black in color due to the mineral iron found in it, because mineral iron will be consisted in this black soil, so it looks in black in color. Black soil is clay in nature, so it is very clay in nature. It absorbs and retains water easily, so it could absorb the water and also it retains the water easily. So children, plants like cotton, sugarcane, wheat. So which are the crops we can grow in black soil? Cotton, sugarcane, wheat, or millet, oilseeds and jowar are widely grown in this soil. Children, I hope you understood about the black soil. Let us move on to study about the red soil and laterite soil. Now, let us continue to study about red soil and laterite soil. Okay, children, red soil is formed by the breaking up of crystalline volcanic rocks. So this soil is red due to the color. The soil is red in color due to the presence of red oxide. Already I have said to you this. So the presence of red oxide in this soil gives the color of red to this soil. So red soil is made up of big and coarse particles and thus cannot hold water. So it is made up of big and coarse particles. Because of that, it could not hold the water. The soil is less fertile. So the soil is less fertile. So the crops which is grown here is in this type of soil is rice, millet, cotton, wheat, oilseeds, pulses, etc. But they should use the fertilizers while they are growing these crops using in this type of soil. So when they are growing these crops in the red soil, they have to use fertilizers. With using the fertilizers, they could grow this type of crops in red soil. Children, the states where we can find this type of soil is Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Jharkhand, etc. So these are all the states where we could find the red color soil. So next, let us move on to study about laterite soil. So what is this laterite soil? It is found on the hill slopes where the topsoil is carried away by heavy rainfall. So due to alternative dry and wet period. So because of sometimes it is very dry, sometimes it will be wet. Because of this, what happens? The topsoil is carried away by the heavy rainfall. So children, laterite soil is red in color, coarse in texture, and it cannot store water. So rough in texture. So coarse means rough in texture and it cannot store water. The summits of the Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats and Purvanchal regions have this type of soil. Tea, coffee, rubber, coconut, cashew nuts, etc. are grown in this type of soil. Children, I hope you understood about the red soil and laterite soil. Now, let us move on to study about the soil erosion and soil conservation. What do you mean by soil erosion? Soil erosion means it is the loss of soil from land is known as soil erosion. Children, it is common in areas with steep slopes and where the trees have been cut down, where there is a deforestation, where the trees have cut down, those areas, this soil erosion is very common because when rain falls on the hillside covered with grass and trees, it causes very little soil erosion because the roots of the grass and trees will hold tight the soil. So it will not allow the soil to move with the wind or water. So the deforestation or cutting down the tree will give rise to soil erosion because there will be not the presence of the roots to hold the soil. So only easily the soil erosion will cause. Children, the plants observe the impact of the rain on the soil. So trees and plants offer best protection against soil erosion. So trees and plants offer best protection against the soil erosion. Children, what is soil conservation? Protecting soil from erosion is known as soil conservation. We need to protect soil because it is an important resource that supports life on the earth. Yes, no, children, it is an important resource which will support the life on the earth, not only the human beings, even plants and other animals also. So it is very important resource. It is our duty to preserve or conserve the soil. So when soil erosion takes place, the topsoil gets washed away by wind and rain. The topsoil contains most minerals which is required for the growth of plants. Hence, it has to be protected by adopting some methods. So which are the methods we can adopt to avoid the soil erosion, or how we can conserve the soil? By afforestation means planting more trees, yes, no, and constructing dams, reserving the water through constructing the dams. Then terrace farming also will help in the conservation of soil. Children, I hope you understood about the soil erosion and soil conservation. Let us move on to study about the forest resources of India. Children, now let us continue to study about the forest resources of India. Children, plants are very essential for the sustenance of life on earth. Yes, no, children? So plants are very important, essential for us to lead our life, sustain our life. Natural vegetation is a plant cover that is found growing on its own in a vast area. So in a huge area. Vast means huge. So natural vegetation is a plant cover that is found growing on its own. It will grow by its own in a vast area or the huge area. So children, this plant cover of forest depends upon the climate and of that particular region, the soil and manpower of that particular region. India, being a very vast country, has various type of forests, and each type of vegetation has its own distinctive features. So it has its own typical features. So these forests are classified according to their nature, the type of soil and pattern of climate in which they grow. Okay, among that, the first one is tropical evergreen forest. So the type of forest, so under the forest, type of forest we are studying now. So in India, the forests are divided into 5 types according to the climate, according to the soil, and in which they grow. According to that, the forest is divided into 5 types. The first one is tropical evergreen forest. Children, as the name says evergreen, this type of forest will be green forever. Okay, so the tree of, and as the name evergreen suggests, the trees of this forest bear green leaves throughout the year. I said you throughout the year, the forest will be green, the trees will bear the green leaves. So these trees grow to a great height. The dense evergreen forests are found in which places, children? So Western Ghats, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep Islands, northeastern hilly regions, etc., where rainfall is heavy, where you can see more heavy rainfall. In those regions, you can see such type of forest, that is tropical evergreen forest. And children, the trees which will grow in this type of forest are mahogany, ebony, rosewood, rubber, cocoa, cinchona, are different varieties of trees found in this forest. Children, let us study the, sorry, let us study the second type of forest, that is the tropical deciduous forest. So tropical deciduous forest, these forests are found in Deccan and Chota Nagpur plateaus. So where it is found? It is found in Deccan and Chota Nagpur plateaus, where rainfall is moderate. It is not too much, heavy rainfall, or either not scanty rainfall. Where the rainfall is moderate, there you can see this such type of forest. The trees of this forest shed leaves in summer. So this type of forest, you can see the trees which are in this type of forest, deciduous forest, the trees will shed their leaves during summer. So the teak, sal, sesame, sandalwood, merobalan are some common species of trees found in this forest. These trees are strong and tall, but not very dense or closely packed. So like evergreen forest, they are not closely packed. They are strong and tall. Okay, children, I hope you understood about tropical deciduous forest. Let us move on to study about the scrub forest. Children, these forests are found in the areas where temperature is high, very hot, and but rainfall is less than 70 centimeter per annum. So where there is less scanty rainfall and where is more temperature, high temperature. So there you can see this scrub forest. So exactly it is in desert areas. Plants that can withstand dry conditions are known as xerophytes. Xerophytes means the plants which can withstand the dry conditions. So that is called as xerophytes, meaning drought resistant plant. Meaning of this xerophyte means that is drought resisting plant. They have long roots, thick bark, sharp fronds, and small leaves. So what are the features of this plant? They have long roots, okay, and bark will be very thick, and fronds will be sharp, and leaves will be very small. So parts of North, the Deccan, Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana supports scrub forest. Date palm, acacia, cacti, kikkar, babul are the plant species that grow in this forest. Okay, these are all the plants that grow in this forest. That is acacia, babul, cacti, kikkar. These are all the plants will grow in this type of scrub forest. Next, let us move on to study about the mountain forest. So the forest found in Himalayan region are the mountain forest. So they are found in the Himalayan mountain region. Okay, these trees which are found in these areas are tall, straight, and conical in shape. It is in conical shape. They are called conifers. They are called as conifers. These trees are called as conifers. So children, pine, cedar, deodar, spruce, fir and fir are some types of conifers that grow in this forest. The trees which grow in this forest are pine, cedar, deodar, spruce, okay, and fir and fir are the some types of forest, some types of trees which grow in this forest. The leaves of these trees are, in this forest the trees have some specific features. So the leaves of the trees will be sharp, needle shaped, okay, needle shaped. It is needle shaped. They have deep roots that help them to stand against the strong winds. So even the roots will be very deep because to withstand the strong winds, and the branches will be sloped downwards, allowing snow to slide away. So to slide down the snow, okay, because I said you it is in Himalayan region where there will be snowfall. So the branches will be sloped downwards, allowing the snow to slide down. Their fruits are woody and in nature and are cone shaped. So in nature, the trees' fruits are woody and in cone shape. So even these type of trees are called as conifers. Don't forget, children, conifers. Okay. Next, let us move on to study about the tidal forest. It is also known as mangrove forest. Children, the river deltas and coastal areas support different type of forest called as tidal or mangrove forest. The trees that grow in tidal forest have roots that came out of water for breathing. So the roots from this tidal forest, what happens? From water it will come out to breathe. The roots will come out from the water to breathe. Okay, so Sundarban in the Ganga and Brahmaputra delta are the biggest tidal forest in the world. In the world, this Sundarban, which is the delta of Ganga and Brahmaputra, is the world famous delta where you can see the tidal forest. Okay, children. Now let us move on to study about conservation of forest and wildlife. Children, now let us continue to study about the conservation of forest and wildlife. We have already studied what is forest and types of forest, which are the different types of forest present in India. Now we are going to study about the conservation of forest and wildlife. Children, forests are the home of wild animals and birds. Correct, children? So it is the home of wild animals and birds. India has a rich heritage of wildlife. Sundarbans are the home for famous Bengal tiger. Indian rivers are the home of many animals like crocodiles and tortoise. Okay, children, the variety of animals we can see in India, Indian forests, such as lions, tiger, leopards, rhinoceroses, and elephants, deer, etc. So even we can see many types of varieties of reptiles like snakes also live in forest. Yes, no, children. So forest is a home for birds, wild animals, and birds. The forest cover is getting reduced. Why, children? Why the forest cover is reducing nowadays? It is getting reduced because of the human intervention. So human is cutting down the tree and he is converting the forest into industrial areas. He is cutting down he is clearing the forest for agricultural purpose. He is cutting down the trees and clearing the forest to build his houses and to lay the roads and railways to have a better transportation. So human intervention is making the forest area to decrease. Children, the destruction of forest poses a big threat to the survival of wildlife. Many species of wildlife and birds are now endangered and are on the verge of becoming extinct. Yes, no, children, it is at the end of its extinct. So it is our duty to conserve the forest, which is the home for many wild animals and also the birds. Children, illegal hunting of animals and for medicinal research and deforestation is banned by law, and the government has set up national parks, wildlife sanctuaries and zoological gardens to protect wild animals. So government is taking many steps to protect the wildlife and also forest. So by setting the national parks, wildlife sanctuaries and also the zoological gardens. And the organization like SPCA, the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, and PETA. PETA means that is people for ethical treatment of animals, also take initiative to save animal life. It is our prime duty to preserve forests, which provide many important natural resources to us. Children, then what are the importance of forest? Yes, now let us study about what are the importance of forest. Children, they gave us timber, correct? They give us timber. Timber is used for manufacturing of furniture, yes, no? So timber, fruits, yes, wood, medicinal plants, and other useful products. Then trees absorb much of carbon dioxide and release oxygen. Yes, no, children. So trees will absorb carbon dioxide and they will release oxygen, which is very essential for us to breathe. So forest cause rainfall and keep the climate cool. Yes, because of forest, the there will be proper rainfall and the climate will be cool. Okay, and they provide shelter to wildlife and fodder for animals. Yes, no, children. So it will provide the shelter to wildlife and also fodder for animals. Then they are the major source of wood pulp for making paper. So what we use the papers, correct? So that is because of this forest where they are the major source of wood pulp where which we are making the paper. Children, I hope you understood the importance of forest resources. I hope you understood the lesson, the natural wealth of India. Thank you, children.